Fresh Air on CBC Radio 1. Windy Lake Provincial Park, north of Sudbury, reopened this weekend after being closed due to an aggressive moose. The moose repeatedly charged the park's staff, and they tried to get the moose to leave on its own by using bear bangers and air horns. But on Thursday, it was tranquilized and moved to a wildlife refuge in Muskoka. So how common is this kind of behavior from a moose? To find out more, we reached Brian McLaren at Lakehead University. He's a professor of natural resources who studies the behavior of animals and how they interact with people.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm wonderful, thank you. Now, I found this really interesting because I didn't think moose were typically, they're not particularly aggressive animals. So under what circumstances can a moose become aggressive toward humans?
Yeah, I find this interesting too. One case where this is not unusual is when males move into the rut, as they call it, the period when they stop eating and all of their attention is focused to breeding. It's such a crazy time, especially for young males, that it can lead to aggressive behaviors against anything they see, objects or people. But we're well past the breeding season for moose. That's what makes this unusual. Another time that you will definitely find aggressive moose is the females with calves. Just after they're born, say June, you're looking at a mother that's going to protect her offspring no matter what, and that will mean charging people.
Have you ever had a moose charge you?
No, I haven't, but I worked on Isle Royal National Park in Lake Superior, and that's an area where moose are really abundant, and there were lots of stories of visitors to the park and park maintenance staff who were charged, and their reaction is to climb a tree, which is I'm not sure I would be as quick and nimble as the stories tell. I think the best bet is just to kind of back away on flat ground so that nothing serious happens. But moose are so big. I've had moose come up really close to me, not in an aggressive manner, but that if they just kept walking, you'd be trampled.
Well, this is the thing, they are very, very large, and a lot of the time when it comes to sort of bad behavior by animals, often that's provoked by people. But in this case, the moose, these seem to be really unprovoked attacks. How common is that?
Well, as I say, outside of the rut and outside of the breeding season, and the photograph tells me that this is likely a young bull. I think that what we have is personality, and we as ecologists, we've taken this for granted, but not studied it. But somebody who has pets or somebody who has farm animals, they know very well that individuals of the same species can be very different in terms of personality, and I think that's what unfortunately this moose in the provincial park is a case example. It's adopted kind of an aggressive behavior for whatever reason, and it just won't let go of that, and that's just the way it is.
Well, are moose winter animals? Like, could the winter be stressing out the moose?
I don't think so. Moose are adapted really well to winter. In fact, their preferred temperature is about -8 degrees. Above that, they start to go into heat stress in the winter. So obviously, for any northern mammal, the winter is a time when food is hard to find, and so they're going to be really driven to find food, and that can lead to unusual behavior. For example, if they decide that somebody's vegetable garden is really accessible still in the winter months, that's where they'll go. But I don't think the winter in particular is going to be a problem. Moose can literally swim over deep snow, and their metabolism and their size allows them to not suffer from cold.
Wow, that is interesting. Well, this park, I mean, the provincial park has tried scaring away the moose. They've tried noisemakers, whistles. They've even tried paintball guns. Is this a good approach to getting rid of the moose, making noise?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm thinking about my explanation being this is a really unusual behavior. It's an unusual personality. I think that probably provokes and prolongs that particular behavior. Just think, if you have a really difficult toddler at home and you just keep throwing bangers at the toddler, I don't think it's going to work. I think this moose needs time on its own. That's my view.
I mean, is it a possibility? Like, is rabies a possibility, or some type of disease?
If we see normal behavior, it's probably not a disease. Rabies and the brainworm and other things that moose suffer from all come with really unusual behaviors, like walking in circles and so on. So,
well, what do we say to people? If a moose is charging at you, what should you do? Because we understand noisemakers and whistles are not going to help.
I wouldn't go that route. I would think about climbing a tree, because of course in the case of a moose, it's not going to reach above its shoulder height very much, but that's a challenge, as I said. So I think the best advice I have is that you just back up slowly, like with any charging animal. Don't look at it in the eye. I don't think that's as big an issue for a moose as it is for a carnivore like a black bear, but look behind you as you need to walk safely back.
Brian, thank you so much. This has been so informative, and now I think most people know what to do if they're getting charged at by a moose. Back away slowly, quietly.
Yeah, okay. I hope it doesn't happen to either of us, Nicole.
Thank you, Brian. You too.
Bye.
Brian McLaren is an associate professor in natural resources management at Lakehead University. We reached him in Thunder Bay. definitely get the place shaken. That is Doug and the Slugs with Tomcat Prowl. That would be a great karaoke tune. So we've been talking a bit about karaoke today and what is the ultimate karaoke tune. Are you into karaoke? And we just finished talking to Kimberly Gale on World Report, who we learned lived in Japan, like the birthplace of karaoke. And she gave us some tips and tricks and told us what you gotta do is find your song. Find the song that you sing the best. She told us hers. So this is us tipping our hat to you, Kimberly. This is just what I needed. The Cars.